Hello, yes, time for another Eastern Exotica review, and I finally got hold of the big kahuna! Yes, the first of the combiners from the Carbot line, the big bot from Season 1. I am of course referring to Pentastorm! Pentastorm, yes, he's the big truck combiner from Season 1. Been meaning to get him for a good long while, but I've finally taken the plunge and I've bought him. But before we actually get into the toy itself, I think I need to explain a few things about how I bought him, because it's yeah. Anyway, I got into collecting Carbots, and I watched the show online, and then I decided to buy this guy, Dandy. And I bought him and I thought, this is good, I need to get some more. So then I bought, I got Prawn, I got Sky, and a couple of others. And I got Mini Ace as well. So yeah, I bought a bunch of these Carbots, but I watched all of Season 1 on YouTube, and then obviously they started going into Season 2, and I started buying bots from Season 2. But I kind of didn't quite get the full set of bots from Season 1. Well, for start off, I've only got a small version of Ace, who's one of the principal characters from the original series. And, there was another bot in the line who I hadn't got, and that was Pentastorm, or Storm, the truck, the truck bot who appears later in the season. Of course, Storm is largely there to be a combiner. Now, Storm was already out when I started buying into the line, but he was ridiculously expensive. He was, he on eBay he was going for like 120, 130 quid at least. And if you went to places like Amazon, there was people on there asking like 200-300 quid for the thing, and it's like, I ain't paying that. I mean, 45 quid for the basic bots is a really good deal, because they're huge, they're well made, they're chunky, lacking a bit of articulation, but if you can see past that, they're fantastic toys in their own right. And Pentastorm is just bigger, and he's a combiner. Now, I was put off buying it originally because of the price. I didn't want to pay that amount of money for it, even though you could argue, being the big bot that he is, he's worth it. Anyway, so I've put it off and I've put it off. And then all of a sudden, Pentastorm seemed to disappear. As soon as the characters from Season 2 started appearing as toys online, Pentastorm seemed to vanish. And those people who did have him on sale jacked the price up. I mean, it was not unheard of to see it going for over 200 quid. And I thought, no way am I touching it. Anyway, then I found out about Gmarket, the Korean retail website, and I looked on there, and just more recently I decided to have another look for Pentastorm, because he seemed to be cropping up again. Now, he is on eBay at the moment, again going for his sort of £120, £130 mark, and I didn't want to pay that. So I went looking on Gmarket, and on Gmarket there's a variety of people selling the toy at a variety of prices. Now, I kind of got an inkling of how much this toy went for in Korea, which was around about 100,000 won, which I don't know off the top of my head what the rough exchange rate is, but it sort of retails for around about 60-70 quid, maybe about 70-80 quid in Korea. And I thought, well, I want to get one for that price. Obviously, you've got to take into account the shipping. So I eventually found somebody in Korea, on Gmarket, who was prepared to sell it to me with shipping, just over 90 quid. And I thought, well, okay, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with paying 90 quid for this bot. Anyway, I bought it. Then a week or two later, I get an email from Gmarket. I'm sorry, haven't paid enough money for postage. Please pay a bit more for postage, or your postage payment is insufficient. So I went into my account. I thought it was a spam, like a phishing email to start with, but I actually went into my account, and they're asking for more money. because the way Gmarket works is they kind of have a load of independent sellers, and then they sell it online. And if it's an international seller, it gets sent to the Gmarket, you know, sort of distribution centre. They then repackage it for international shipping, and it gets sent off. Because one thing you need to know, when you buy something off Gmarket, you actually pay two shipping prices. You have to pay the local shipping price in Korea, and you have to pay the international price. So you actually pay two shipping prices, which is a bit, yeah. Anyway, so that's the way it works. They obviously underestimated the shipping price, and I had to pay an extra whatever it was. It was equivalent to about an extra 16 quid. So that put the price of the bot from like 90 quid to 106, and it's like, ooh, it's getting a bit dear now. Anyway, it got shipped. Now I was suspecting that this bot was going to get a customs hit, because the last bot I bought from Gmarket, which was Road Saber, got a customs hit. And guess what happened this week? Come home, and there's a Royal Mail, you know, Parcel Force letter for me. I open it up. You've got to pay customs and excise duty on this to the tune of 35 quid. Well, the customs charge was 22 quid, but UK Revenue and Customs slap a £13.50 processing fee onto their, you know, all their transactions now. It used to be 8 quid, it's now £13.50. So, 35 bloody quid. Or 34, whatever it was. Anyway, I was kind of expecting it, and you add that to the price of this toy, and it puts it up to like 143 quid. And that's over what it goes for on eBay. The going rate on eBay, which kind of made me, I'm sort of smarting a bit from this. And this is twice in a row I've had bots from Gmarket Korea that have got customs hit, and the reason being is because they have the shipping label and they declare it as merchandise and the value of the goods inside. So UK Revenue and Customs is like a red rag to a bull. They're like, oh, look at that, you know, well, let's slap a fine on that. And it's not fair, because these toys are only available in Korea. If I could go down to my local toy shop, if I could go down to Entertainer or Smith's or Toys R Us and buy these toys off the shelf, I would. And I would gladly pay the VAT on them that way. But you can't buy them in the UK, so I have to, you know, go buy them online from Korea. And why is it I'm getting done for the bloody excise duty on these for that reason? It's just not fair. Anyway, needless to say, I won't be buying any bots from Gmarket Korea for any time soon. I'm just going to concentrate on buying stuff off eBay. eBay's hit and miss. Sometimes they get hit, sometimes they don't. And if you email the seller and say, can you put it down as a gift, put it down as $15 on the shipping docket, it usually gets through, no questions asked. Of course, then you run the risk of, if it gets lost or damaged in post, you know, you can't have insurance on it. You ain't got a leg to stand on, but that's the risk you take. So yeah, they delivered it yesterday, and here is Storm. Right, here's his truck. This is the Storm on his own. I mean, it's Storm. He's the basic bot, the core bot of the combiner. His name is Storm. He's a truck. He's this Hyundai Exient Trago 25.5 ton bulk tipper, and good looking truck mode. It's got lots of nice sort of a lovely chrome grille with a Hyundai badge. It's got chromed wheels which are all pinned and roll really well. It's got mirrors. On the back it's a bit open because obviously you've got the main hinge joints for the legs. But you know, on the side, and you know, the front and maybe a little bit on top, got these chromy bits, the robot bits on top. But it's a pretty, convincing truck. Now, before I go any further, I think I was saying about this being a big bot. You wait, you see the size of the box this came in, and the box this got shipped in was twice the size of this. It was like it was like double the depth, and there was no padding in there, so it was banging around inside this box. I didn't keep it. I've cut it up for cardboard recycling, but that's huge. I mean, there you go. Got lots of pretty pictures on it. Yeah, so there is Storm in his truck mode. Size comparison, obviously, put him next to one of the other Carbots. The thing is, scale-wise, these are generally around about 1/20th scale. I don't know what scale this guy is because, and I'll show you the reason when we get into the combiner. Nothing on the box to say what scale it is, and it's actually a scale model of the truck, so they haven't put a scale on it. I believe it's somewhere around sort of like 1/32nd, 1/34th scale or something like that. But anyway, it's not in scale with these, the big Carbots, because I mean, there's a truck and there's the car. Really, the truck should be, you know, that much bigger, but it's just what it is. So the truck, yeah, he combines into a robot on his own, and to transform him is quite simple. You pull those forward first, then you pull the legs out, pull the feet, split the legs, and that's the legs done. Then you go on to the top here, take these bits here, and then you pull them out to the side. You then take these wheel bits here and then fold them round to the front. It's starting to look like a robot. You then rotate them upwards, and then you bring that back. Oh, yeah. No, that's it, like that. And then the arms fold out of here, like so, and turn it round. And there we have Storm in his robot mode. And he's a pretty big bot. I mean, where's my usual size comparison for Carbots? There he is next to Combiner Wars Megatron. So he's big. He's bigger than a Masterpiece bot. And this is just his core mode. This is his core bot. And if you want to see him next to another robot, here he is next to Hawk. Now, the interesting thing is, Storm does appear a couple of times in the show in this mode, but virtually every episode he's in, he transforms into the Combiner, so you don't see him in this mode very often. It does kind of look like Optimus Prime, don't you think? You know, with the reds and the blues and the helmet. So yeah, it's kind of got an Optimus vibe going on. But lots and lots, as you can see, lots of blinging chrome. Articulation on this is, you know, ratchet hips. These bits usually have to sort of move them out of the way. They go up, forwards and backwards. He has got 5 swivels. He's got a really good ratcheted knee. He can kick himself in the back. He's got some ratchets on the feet. Now, on the top, he's got shoulders goes all the way round. The arm goes up and down like that on a ratchet. Now he does have bicep swivels, and he's also got thigh swivels. So that, well, they're part of his transformation, obviously. but you know he's got the joints in this mode. But getting him to pose with these arms, because these shoulders are ridiculously, these shoulder pauldrons are huge, and they're totally out of proportion with the rest of the body. I mean, they're spaced out from the torso with these silver bits here, and he's got all this kibble here, and it just looks odd in this mode because of it. And as you can see, you can't move his arms in. You have to sort of do that, and then he can't, because the way the joints are, they're a bit stubby. His head does move a little bit from side to side, but that's, you know, that's all there is to his truck or his core robot mode. And yeah, so we'll put him in the back for now. And right, so there's Storm in his core mode. Now he does come with 4 other vehicles. He comes with Prawn. He comes with Ace. He comes with Sky. And he comes with Dandy. Now they're all in their emergency vehicle alternative colour schemes. Now in the show they do occasionally change colour from their regular modes into their emergency vehicle forms, and some of them even transform, you know, to something else. They can change colour at will, Carbots, which is quite interesting. Now these, I mean, I've got proper Dandy here. Now you look, they're slightly smaller. I mean, that's probably the closest match. But then you look at the size of Sky here. You can see they're quite considerably smaller. And Prawn. So yeah, they're quite a bit smaller, these vehicles. That's why I said about the scale of this guy being off compared to these ones. And finally, obviously Ace. Now I've got Mini Ace, the small one, so he's actually bigger. But if I had the full size Ace, then this guy would be, you know, a lot bigger, you know, sort of that sort of scale. But yeah, and you can see the colours. The colours that they change into when they go into their emergency vehicle modes. You see, they totally change colour. Now Prawn goes into a police car. Sky goes into a SWAT car mode. Dandy changes into an ambulance, and Ace goes in as like a fire engine type thing. Interesting note, when they change into these alternative colour schemes, their head sculpt changes as well. And I'm not too keen on the new head sculpts. I prefer the head sculpts on the original, hence the reason why I've bought the original coloured versions and not gone for the big ones, because they have done repaints of these guys in, you know, the alternative colours. But I've now got representations of them in this slightly smaller scale for the combiner, so I don't really need to do that. I've got, you know, versions of them in that mode. Now these don't transform into robots. Now Koreans like doing these things called copolymer combiners. Basically, it's a load of vehicles that form together to form a giant robot, and the vehicles themselves don't have robot modes of their own, they're just vehicles. A lot of the later combiners in the later series, especially Season 3, where you've got K.T.R.T and Mighty Guard, they're both full-on copolymer combiners. Now this combiner has got a core bot in the shape of Storm. And when Storm transforms, he goes, you know, Penta Storm, and then all this lightning appears, and the other guys zoom towards him, they change colours, and then they turn into limbs for his combiner form. But before we get onto that, an interesting thing, well, something you can do is you can start him transforming into his combined form, and you do this by taking this bit, flipping it over the top. You then take that. No, that's right. Yeah, you flip that down, and there's his combined mode head. He's got a much bigger head. And then the arms, you just fold them down, and then the feet, you fold them up. So he's now ready for his combination sequence. Now we'll start with the feet. You take one of the feet arms. They only go on one way particularly. I don't think you can switch them around. It's not like you know, Scramble City combiner. They only go in one place. So anyway, you fold into the wheels, sort of rock hinge out the sides, pull the front out, pull that forwards, pull that up, and now that foot is ready for combination. They've got this thing here, I don't know if you can see it, this thing here, and there's a slot in there, and it slides in. Have I got this on the right way? Yeah. So you push that into there, and then that locks that into place. And then there's this bit on the back. It's got some little clipping points that clips in, and then finally you position that, and that's one foot done. With Dandy, you take this bit off. You then, similar sort of transformation, fold those in, fold those out. Now you fold that forwards, pull that up, slide it in, do that, and there's his feet. So he's already getting pretty big. Now for the arms. Oh yeah, I forgot about the backpack. Fold out the wings, and then split the backpack, and there's a pegging point on his back, and that just goes in there like so. There we go. And then let's convert the arms. The arms are both the same. You basically pull that out, pull that back. There's these two pegs here and two ports in there which slot into there like so. Then there's a little button on the side which you press, and then it pulls this bit out. Do the same with Prawn. Pull that back, peg it in, hit the button, and pull that out. So you get Storm. Let's make sure I get this on the right side again. Right, okay. Yeah. Now these, you get this bit, goes in there, and then it just clips on, and they lock on really securely. You'd think, you know, how's this going to work? There you go, and it just pegs on like that. And there we have Penta Storm in his combined mode. Woo, he's a big boy. He's huge. He's massive. Now, size comparisons. I did a bunch of size comparisons. Took a load of photographs of size comparisons with this guy next to some of the biggest bots I've got, which I'm going to show you now. And basically, this guy is now the second biggest transforming toy that I own, next to One Step Chomp and Stomp Grimlock. He's massive. He's just a tad bigger than Energon Omega Supreme. He's bigger than Supreme Starscream. He's bigger than Ultimate Bumblebee, and he's even bigger than the Toy World Combiner. He's massive. I mean, look at the girth on this guy. Look how wide he is. I mean, yeah, you've got these bits of the camo just sticking out of his arms. He's massive. Now, he's basically got the same articulation as Storm's basic mode. So you got legs. You got swivel there. You've got a knee there. The feet are solid, they don't move, they lock in very securely and they don't go anywhere. Has got a bit on the bottom of his feet where the wheels fold in to give him like a basic A stance. There's a bit of motion on these wings on the back, but they're usually supposed to be up straight. This is a little bit wobbly on the back, but you know, provided you don't mess with it, it's not too bad. The arms, obviously you've got the very stiff ratchet there, but there's quite a bit of weight on these arms, and it does hold it very well. Now when he's got these bits on his arms, it bulks his arms up and means that his articulation on his arms is further restricted just because of the mass of the arms getting in the way. So you can only pull them up that far, but if you... And same with the elbows. You can only bring it so far forward before it starts, you know, clouting stuff. But one thing he does gain in this mode is he's got wrist swivels, so you can then turn his wrists, which is interesting. Now, another thing with this guy, all the other Carbots, the normal size ones, they come with weapons and have weapon storage in their vehicle modes. This guy didn't come with anything. No accessories apart from, you know, everything that makes up the combiner. So, no sword, no gun, no shield. In the show, he kind of, you know, he can, you know, shoot laser beams out of his eyes and project force fields and do all sorts of stuff with his body. He doesn't actually use weapons as such. But it would have been nice, seeing as he's got rotating wrists, to have a sword or something. That would have been nice if they'd added a sword accessory, but missed opportunity there, I think. Yeah, he's massive. He's big, he's heavy, he's bright and shiny, he's very well made. Kind of limit like I said, the articulation's limited because of his bulk. The head does move from side to side. It hasn't got light piping because the eyes are painted, but he's got this bit of, you know, glowing plastic on top of his head. Yeah, he's massive, and like I said, because of all the charges I had to pay to get this guy delivered, he's now the second most expensive toy that I own, as well as the second biggest. Yeah, so another size comparison, obviously. Here he is next to Combiner Wars Megatron. And I've also got Hawk here as well. Interesting thing, Hawk does not, unlike the others, Carbots, who transform into vehicles that then become part of the combined mode, Hawk doesn't. He's not part of any combiner in the show. He's an independent robot, which is kind of interesting. So, you know, quite a few times when Pentastorm comes out in season 1, Hawk's usually there as well, you know, helping out. But Pentastorm usually comes out when, you know, they need the big guns to help, you know, fight off some mutant creature. Because in season 1 it was all S, you know, the guy who wears a leotard and's got a big fat baby face, and he keeps creating these mutant creatures that attack the town, and you know, the Carbots have to see them off. And it's, you know, to the latter part of season 2, Pentastorm's out virtually every single episode. He's had quite a few outings in season 2, but now they're getting into season 3. The older bots are getting sort of left out, and it's all the newer bots that are making appearances. So it's kind of unfortunate. But anyway, yeah, I finally took the plunge and bought Pentastorm. Do I like him? He's alright, he's good. I'm glad I got him, but is he worth 140 quid? Well, you know, it stings to find out that, you know, I actually paid more for this than the going rate on eBay. It really did sting. And it was the same with Road Saber. This guy, he's very cool. He's very interesting, and really, if you're going to buy the bots from season 1, you can't not have him, and that's what I'm going to do. The only bot I need now to complete my season 1 lineup is a big version of this guy. He's a big ace, so an original ace. So I need to get one of those now, and then I'll have all the bots from season 1. I'm not really a completionist, but I think on this particular line, I think I can manage. So yeah, that's it. That's my review of Hello Carbot's Pentastorm, the first combiner. He's very big. He's very impressive. He's very expensive, and yeah, I got him. So there we go. That's my review of this guy. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let's just put the box in the background. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, that's my review. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll catch you next time. See yous. Goodbye.